It is time for everyone's favorite segment, Soundbite. Now, Soundbite, in case you've missed, is a segment where Steve and I react to different clips of just weird stuff happening in the sports world. We got a post-game interview. Someone says or does something that we want to take a listen to. We listen.
I just like to set this up with, as I'm laying in bed watching this game this night, I watched this play happen, and I said out loud, oh, that's something Cam would like to see.
But the Wolves played the Warriors on Tuesday. The Wolves won 104-101 in an in-season tournament game, I might add. And Draymond Green decided to put Rudy Gobert in a chokehold for trying to break up a scuffle that Jaden McDaniels and Klay Thompson had started. It's a whole slew of things, but Draymond is the main point. So let's take a look at this clip from Tuesday night's game.
And so we're scoreless. We'll stay 0-0 the first 2 minutes. And then
look at
Klay Thompson and McDaniels. What is going on with that?
Wow.
You've got a full-on fracas going on. Draymond came in to defend Klay. This got out of hand very quickly.
No way Klay should have been ejected. That was ridiculous. So I was upset about that. And then the Draymond piece of it, if you watch the replay, Rudy had his hands on Klay's neck, and that's why Draymond went after Rudy. The guys on the back of the bench were telling us that Rudy had Draymond or had Klay, and that's why Draymond went at Rudy. So that's all I know. But it was, a bizarre way to start the game a minute and a half in.
So there you have it. Draymond putting people in sleeper holds. Klay Thompson and Jaden McDaniels ripping jerseys. And Steve Kerr just not taking responsibility. I forgot to mention that to start, but threw that in here at the end. Steve, lead us off here. Just your overall thoughts on Draymond's tomfoolery.
You know, when I watched this initially, I could not believe nobody reacted to Draymond with more aggression, with more intensity of the situation. Draymond Green is dragging Rudy Gobert by his neck in a chokehold backwards, and you see a sea of coaches and people trying to break it up. Where? Rudy Gobert's teammates. If I see my teammate getting dragged away in a chokehold, but what I'm really shocked about, Cam, and this is what I need your help to kind of help me understand this a little more. Like, there are things you can do, push, you want to start throwing, hands. To grab a man from behind and crank on his neck like that.
Yeah.
Somebody who's 7 foot tall. Help me understand. I don't know why he did this. It just doesn't. It seems like whenever Draymond gets mad, it doesn't matter. There's no line in the sand for him.
If Andrew Wiggins put Rudy Gobert in that headlock, we would be like, what is going on? But we're like, oh, it's Draymond. We're shocked because of the severity of why he did it. But the fact that we're not shocked that he actually just did it is telling. And I think that is the issue. We are used to this from Draymond Green, and Draymond Green refuses to accept responsibility. He is past his prime. He's not what he was. We've known that for several years now. Draymond is the guy that I think he's mad about it, and he knows he can't do anything, and that is his role on the Warriors as the enforcer, the tough guy, the talking smack, and that's all fine. But this has gone too far, because even just look at the last time they played the Warriors, and Anthony Edwards went up for that layup. I don't know if you saw his clip, Steve. He was going up for a transition layup, and Draymond hard fouled him, make him shoot, and he's like, you got to earn that wink, and that's you, blah, blah, just being Draymond, and that's fine. But even Anthony Edwards was like, there was not a need or necessity at all to put Rudy Gobert in a chokehold and drag him across the court from a fight that was not even that escalated. Exactly. Draymond escalated it. What I think the most telling thing is when you look at Draymond's face, when he has him in that headlock, he's like, oh yeah, I got this guy. Like, Rudy Gobert and Draymond Green have several years worth of beef. Draymond Green finally got an excuse to do something. That is now away from basketball. That is away from being an NBA player. We're now talking about two grown men. One grown man just doing too much to use that as leverage to put hands on someone else and get away with it. And Rudy Gobert didn't fight. He put his hands up, was nothing. And Draymond's a thug. Like, that's what thugs do. That's something you do to not be taken seriously. Punching Jordan Poole in the face for talking smack, because guess what? I think Draymond got his feelings hurt, and he can't back it up on the court anymore. Draymond Green got his feelings hurt against Anthony Edwards because he can't back it up on the court anymore. And because he can't show you, like Anthony Edwards lit up the Warriors after the Draymond incident. Draymond can't do that. So what's he have to do? Punch you in the mouth. It is immature. And he, like I said, he posted on Instagram. He's like, or not even just this incident, all the incidents. He's like, I'm just trying to be Draymond. Y'all telling me how I'm supposed to be, but I'm the only one. I know who I am and I know my role. And I'm going to be me. Like, dude, that's not what you're doing. That is not what this is. And the fact that he sees nothing wrong with what he did is the issue. Draymond has a 5-game suspension starting today of the recording, November 16th. And Clay, McDaniels, and Gobert were all fined $25,000 for their roles in the incident. Steve Kerr. Now, Steve, do you have any thoughts before I continue? Because do you have any thoughts on what Steve Kerr said?
He has always found a way to alibi Draymond Green to come to some defense. And I know as a coach, that's your job. I know as a coach, your job is to always support your players. But one thing that I'll say is there's basketball and then there's what Draymond does. We can go the whole way back to the stomp on Sabonis. We can go back to the punch with Jordan Poole. I would love to see Steve Kerr come out and for once say, yeah, that's not how we play basketball here.
And that's what I'm going to say. So, Steve Kerr, you're right. It's a coach's job to stick by your guys, to represent them and have their backs, and that's fine. Steve Kerr's very, very good at speaking to the media and being objective when he has to and kind of like not being in the middle of things that don't involve him. But take away the Steve Kerr and the Warriors element, like their tightness. As a basketball coach, Steve Kerr needs to come out at that podium and say, that was unacceptable. Draymond was irresponsible and immature. That shouldn't have happened, and it will be dealt with, and he'll be disciplined. There's no excuse for what happened. There is no, that's Draymond. There is no, well, I heard he put his hands on his neck. No, there is none of that. There was no excuse to condone what Draymond did. And Steve Kerr was just okay with it.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think that the Warriors have some weirdly overconfident loyalty to Draymond? Like, it feels like the Warriors organization just feels like they owe him everything, which I don't feel like that should be the case anymore.
Well, here's the thing. We talked about this. Well, maybe not that we talked about it on the show, but you and I have. Draymond Green's value is only valuable to the Warriors. And Draymond Green is in his own right is a all-time historical NBA player. He should be a legend and respected as a Warrior for what he does. But on the court as a basketball player for what he's doing, like I said, there's just no room for it. And Draymond can't back up what his persona is with his play. So if he can't be the tough, Draymond Green at one time was, 10, 10, and 10, being the little everything guy, and he was versatile, and that was great. But now Draymond is, I can't do anything, so I have to be physical. People were not having that this should be a 5-game or more suspension. I thought 5 games was
5 is
the
fair.
Minimum, that should have came out of this. Yeah. Because it's not about, and people were saying, well, he didn't throw any punches. Nobody got hurt. It wasn't a fight. It was excessive. It further escalated an incident that was not at that level. No one needed to be doing chokeholds. So, yeah.
No. Draymond
Green doing too much. He got a 5-game suspension. Jay McDaniels, Klay Thompson, Rudy Gobert all fined $25,000 for their roles in the incident. And that is today's soundbite. Just nonsense, once again, from Draymond Green.
Poor taste.
In 10% of all the games that Draymond Green has played without Steph Curry, he's gotten a chip.
My man just doesn't want to play if Steph ain't on the court.
I'm not buying that narrative. I don't believe that at all. I just thought that was interesting. That's a weird, yeah.
Listen to the sound. I listen to the sound.